We are previewing UFC 156 here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking with returning guest Nick Kalikas, MMA oddsmaker and sportsbook consultant for MMA odds, and your website is MMAoddsbreaker.com. And now we're just going to talk about the fifth fight on the main card, McCall and Benavidez. This, of course, is an interesting one. Both these guys are following losses to Demetrius Johnson. Benavidez appears to have the clear edge in everything, striking, grappling, and submissions. Minus 265 though. I mean, when you're talking about such small guys, anything could happen, especially if it goes distance, and then you've got minus 265 in the hands of the judges. I guess if I had to bet it, again, McCall plus 225. What do you think?
Yeah, the line's too high. It is. Yeah. And again, that's kind of to hold off some of the public hype out there because it's still on Joseph Benavidez. I mean, he did have a very competitive fight with Demetrius Johnson. Both these guys did. I mean, Ian McCall, the first fight that he had with him, a lot of people thought he won that fight. And the second fight, he got pretty much dominated. But they're both competitive with the champion right now. And all these flyweights, I mean, wow, how competitive. These guys are so well-rounded. They got, every aspect of the game pretty much down. So when he does hit the card, you're right, especially how stupid the judges are out there. Man, you cannot really lay too much juice in this division. I mean, can Joseph go out there and land something and put Ian McCall out? Yes, possibly. I think he could. But this fight's probably going to go decision. Right. My concern with Ian McCall is last time, he had such an important fight, and he didn't show up as well. He didn't show up in shape. He had some personal issues going on. He let everybody kind of know about that. But, that was a big fight.
Yeah.
This is almost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the guy, and he didn't show up in that fight. So, and
maybe
this fight's not as
case.
important.
Yeah,
and it's a shame because he is very talented. Definitely one of the best flyweights out there. But I think Joseph Benavidez is going to come in a little bit more hungry because he is coming off that loss, and he wants to get another shot at the title. So I think the advantages do go to Joseph in almost every area here. So it's going to be competitive, back and forth. The judges could screw it up, but I would favor probably Joe, maybe by decision. A prop might be the way to bet here because you can't lay, like you just said, 265. Maybe Joseph by decision or the upset.
Yeah, what do you think about what McCall did last fight? Because a lot of times these head cases, they don't show up for like the big fights, but then they do show up for the lesser fights, and that's what makes you think that they have a big chance. And they let you down again. Then they're in a lower, profile fight. They start doing better, and you see that in all sports. Anyone who's a head case. What do you think happened with his last fight, and why do you think it will continue here?
Well, he had one of the biggest weight cuts I think he ever made. He had a horrible weight cut, and again he had some personal issues. I forget exactly what the personal issues were going into that fight, but he struggled with the weight cut, and it kind of showed. He was bad. A lot of people thought he was just kind of playing mind games when he actually tweeted about the weight cut issues the day before and how much weight he had to lose or whatever.
And
it's hard, because these guys do, but then the next day it was obvious that he wasn't making it up, and it is what it is. But that's a question mark. Really, you can't bet hard on a guy like that. Those are all signs and like flags that you have to avoid. Right. A part of MMA betting, along the way you learn from your mistakes, hopefully. And of course you repeat them. We're all human, so we repeat some of the same mistakes. I do it too. All of us do it. But you try to, those flags or those reads, just kind of stay away, man. Avoid certain fights. And again, this one I think that Joseph is probably going to get by decision, but I wouldn't lay 2-1.
And what about just fight goes the distance as a prop? Just
fight goes the distance. Yeah, both these guys should be able to handle what each other has to take. So fight goes to decision or over 2.5 rounds. I think that might be an option, depending on where the juice is right now. I don't believe the total. I didn't set the total yet on this fight too, so I'm not sure if it's out there yet. But it depends on how high the juice is. If you're going to look to bet this fight, maybe that way instead of.
That's the way I would bet. It goes distance that way. If it goes distance, you're not sweating anything when the judge's decision is announced.
Yeah, you know what? In all flyweights, you might have something there. In all flyweight divisions, maybe just going the distance, because in most cases they're going to go the distance. Those guys, So might be the thing.
All right. Well, thanks so much once again for joining us, Nick Kalikas. Really appreciate it. We'll see you for UFC 157.